Pleasure morning once again. But before I start, I'd like to request everybody, for the respect of the one that's speaking here, I want to keep all your smartphones away so that you can listen effectively and listen efficiently. To introduce philosophy, I know that this might be new to you, or this is actually new to you, because this is the time that you encountered, first time you encountered the subject philosophy, right? Wala ni siya sa junior high school. Sakto? Wala po ni siya sa grade 11 ninyo. And the Department of Education really put philosophy in order for the senior high school students to, excuse me, again, this might be new to you, and philosophy is introduced to you as a subject. But in this particular session, I will assure you and I will inform everybody nga ang philosophy dili lang siya subject, no? It's not just a content. Apart from all those science subjects and mathematical subjects nga I will teach content, but in this time I will not just provide you something, but I will, please listen, I will show you how to philosophize, or mainly I will showcase the processes of philosophy, because I believe that philosophy isn't just a main subject, but also it is a method. Okay? It is a method, meaning to say you will learn the process how to philosophize, and you will learn the importance of philosophy in your life, because we are introducing philosophy to the human person, which you will learn later, and why philosophy is very crucial to each of our lives, and how we continue to live our life guided by philosophy. Now, to introduce formally the philosophy, we are as actually entitled sa Module 1, wala ka ingon diha nga learning philosophy diretso, no? But what we are going to do is we will do philosophy. Module 1 suggests of doing philosophy, and here are the module learning outcomes or learning competencies na sort of the goals, no, na inyong dapat ma-achieve by the end of this module. Distinguish a holistic perspective from a partial point of view. Meaning, what do we mean by holistic? We mean by the general perspective, no? We view philosophy or life holistically, not just partially, because that's what is expected of you as senior high school students. Number 2 is realize the value of doing philosophy. That's what you will going to do. You need to realize the value of philosophy, not just to appreciate philosophy, but to realize its very value, because it's useful in our lives. Realize the value of doing philosophy in obtaining a broad perspective on life. But before we can attain a broad perspective on life, we first need to understand each perspective that is happening in our respective lives. Naatay klase-klase ng mga experiences. Sakto. Lain-lain ng mga experiences. One might experience a different problem, and one might experience another sort of problem. And that's the perspectives or the specific perspectives nga imong ma-view sa imong kinabuhi. But through that, no, through the specifics, you can achieve the holistic thing. Number 3, do a philosophical reflection on a concrete situation from a holistic perspective. Now, to philosophize or do the process of philosophy requires the very fundamental considerations, such as to appreciate your one's specified experience sa imong life, and to philosophize also is to reflect. Okay? There are a lot of reflections going on when we try to study philosophy, and when we try to do philosophy, or when we are doing philosophy. excuse me, on a concrete situation, meaning to say, you have to provide something, an example that will relate to the real life experience, no? Not just theoretically, but practically, in a holistic perspective, of course. You will learn that this is life, no? And currently, manggod, as senior high school students, you are viewing life as gamay lang yun kayo nga perspective because you are too focused on, you are preoccupied on many things, no? For example, the digital side of this society, you are too preoccupied with that. Maybe you are preoccupied with your goals, but you are not that focused. That's why philosophy is here to help you achieve your goals. Okay? So these are the general goals. To understand philosophy, one must also understand what is a human person. Now, I am a little bit uncertain as to how you will answer this, no? What is a human person? Because there are a lot of going on when you try to read the question, no? Even though it's just a simple question, pero murag confusing pa siya, no? As of this moment, what is a human person really? And what composes a human person? And namoy choke? Okay, good. To understand what a human person is, no? I spent almost 2 years, no? Perfecting these skills of what I am going to show you now. I studied this type of discipline para mapakita gyud nako akong talent sa inyo, ha. And to show you unsa gyud ang tao, no? Unsa gyud ang itsura sa tao. I studied sketching and illustrating for almost 2 years, and I hope you'll not be disappointed. Okay? 2 years na study, okay? Di ba? Mao na yung resulta sa 2 years na ako nga pag-study sa drawing. And I hope this does not disappoint you because that illustrates a human person. When you look in the mirror, I hope na you're not seeing a monkey. Okay? When you look in the mirror, I hope that you are not seeing other forms of animal. Because that's what basically a human person is. Ikaw, ako. Okay? The person that is speaking in front of you is considered as what? Human being or a human person. Okay? Now, do you consider yourself as a human person? Of course. Not unless if you fly every night. No? Di na kay mga kapangyarihan. Okay? What is a human person? That's basically the answer. No? Remember my drawing? Pag maka-encounter mo na na question? Kasi nabot? Remember my drawing. 2 years na ako nag-studyhan. Now, to introduce philosophy, this is the first introduction, no? You need first, I guess, to understand what a human person is. Basically, kabalo na mo, na guide na to, ang ultimate guide ni Sir Keanu, no? But, this one, or the person that you are today, needs philosophy. Because this characteristic right here, and this illustration right here, must have a meaning, must have a purpose. And I'm not also 100% certain yun na at this very stage of yours, senior high school students, na find out na ninyo inyong purpose. Maybe for some of you, congratulations, pag gusto yun din yung magpulis, mag-teacher, mag-doctor, good for you, no? But majority of the students, the Department of Education has found out na wala pag yun ma-establish ang goals or preoccupied pa kaayo ang mga students sa other things. Not entirely focused on achieving their goals and facing their responsibilities. Agree? Sakto? Diba? Dili pa kaayo clear sa inyong mind unsa gyud inyong gusto sa kinabuhi. And your purpose in life gives you meaning in your life. But how can you achieve that certain meaning if you don't have any purpose? If you don't have any goals? If you're just wandering sa kalibutan or sa society? You are going with different directions, no? Philosophy is here to correct those and to straighten your path. Ready? Ready? Okay. Philosophy is interesting, I guarantee you, because it talks about more questions that will find your ultimate meaning. Not to find your ultimate crush, ha? But to find your ultimate meaning as a human person. Because we are introducing sa inyong subject description, introduction to the philosophy of the human person. Not introducing the philosophy. Dili man ang title kay introducing the philosophy of the dogs, no? Dili man puning ana. Introduction to the philosophy of human person man. Dili man sa other forms of animals or other supernatural beings, but sa mga tao, kita mismo, especially senior high school students. Kay mas gana, if we strike the iron while it's hot, if we instill philosophical concepts while it's hot, kay mga bata pa mo, and this is a preparatory stage for you to step up in college, no? And when you, the moment that you arrive in that certain stage, you are ready enough and decisive enough sa inyong kinabuhi. Again, philosophy gives meaning. Unsa man gyud ang philosophy? Ngano naghatag mo siyang meaning? Okay? Certainly, philosophy is a series of questions that seeks to ask ultimate answer. You will find that one later. And let me just define philosophy etymologically and technically, no? Because in our book reference, it is important for us to understand the beginnings of philosophy. Asa man gyud siya gikan? Ug unsa man gyud ang meaning niya literally, no? Literal sense ang meaning sa philosophy, and we shall define it first. Now, philosophy came from a Greek word, philosophia, or the philos there, as you can see, means love. And the Sophia means wisdom. It's the love of wisdom. Okay? And you might be wondering na, sir, naaday love sa philosophy? Now, it's not the kind of love I'm sure na you are aware of, because the kind of love na imong nahibalan is romantic love. Okay? The most common love nga imong nabalan is the erotic and the romantic and emotional love to someone or to your significant other, maybe familiar love, no, sa imong family and friends. But that's not the love that is defined in philosophy, because love in philosophy is the love for wisdom, the love for knowledge, and the love for truth. Okay? Now there was this man before paminaw who died for the truth. And his name, sa kakaraan mo nang itsura sa iyong picture. And his name was Aristotle. Familiar? Okay? This man died for the truth. And that goes to show how important philosophy is. Most specifically, how important truth and knowledge and wisdoms are. Because I'm here to say that philosophy is worth studying and truth is worth dying. Okay? Philosophy introduces certain concepts and also diverse kinds of topics, but I am here to simplify just for you to understand the love of wisdom. Kasi nabot? Sabtan? Ano meaning ni philosophy? Now, philosophy came from this place, no? Specifically from Greece or specifically from Turkey. And ang pangalan ni Turkey sa una is Miletus. It was formerly named Miletus and it is now presently called as Turkey. Okay? And kinsa man ang gyud ang nag-una-una aning philosophy, no? Especially sa atong introducing philosophy or studying philosophy of the human person. His name was Thales. Take note, ha? His name was Thales, and he's considered as the father of Western philosophy, a godfather of the Western philosophy. No, kay siya may nag-una pag-introduce sa philosophy as a human person. There might be philosophical studies before that are concerning with the sciences, no? But Thales specifically focused on addressing the problems of the human person. Take note, ha? Si Thales gikan sa Turkey, and si Turkey gikan sa asa na Greece. Okay? It's part of the Greece, and it was formerly called sa una Miletus pa na siya, di pa na siya Turkey. Okay? Kuha. Okay, very good. Now the technical definition of philosophy goes like this. Pakibasa. Philosophy can be best defined clarify the very source of which all the chain of causes. So philosophy in the first paragraph, as defined, is considered also as a science because it ought to know something, it ought to examine something, and it is best defined as in that way. Okay? Meaning to say, we need to study something in order to know its first cause. Asa man yun nagikan ng human life, asa man yun nagikan ng isa ka butang, and unsa man yun ang pasingda nato. What should be the purpose for all of us, for us all, so that we can live a meaningful life. Because again, unsa pagani ang mag-fulfill sa human person is his meaning. Okay, do not forget na dapat ang human person, you have your own meaning. Whatever meaning is it that you have, I do not care, respectively or respectfully. But you must have a meaning. Dili ako nabuhi ako sa kalibutan, magbinugoy ka. Dili nabuhi ako sa kalibutan, mag-estetik ka. You must have a purpose and you must have your goal. If you don't identify those yet, it's okay because philosophy is here again to help you. Okay? Second paragraph, pakibasa ko mga bata. Balik. Dungan, balik. 1, 2, 3, go. Philosophy is also a science since it utilizes reason. Sabtan yung tagbasa? O yeah?
Yes, sir.
Sabtan, na ang philosophy requires logic. No, yes, it is considered as a science, or in a field of science, but the science in philosophy requires to know life, requires to know the morality, and requires to know the human nature. Unsa man gyud ang causes and effects of the human action, unsa ba gyud effect if magbinuotan ta, asa ba gyud ta ani mapadulong sa kinabuhi if we study life and if we consider our consequences of the actions we have committed, and all of those fundamental questions yun, mabilong siya sa study ng philosophy. Okay? It also questions the reality. It also questions the very reality we are living in, if this is real or not, or if this has something to do with our life itself, with our lives. Also, these are the technical definition. Nakuha? Sabtan? Okay. Now, sa Greece, as I introduced you sa origin ng philosophy, there was this Western tradition before and Western ideas before nga gabi yun ka-dominated ng ilang ideas. And kinsa man yung mga tao na nagpasikat yun sa philosophy. These are the people, technically, Si Homer yun ang nag-una, the moment that he was expressing those stories and providing oral traditions para sa mga stories before. He was the writer of Iliad, as you are familiar with it. Si Thales, as I mentioned earlier, si Agyod, Pythagoras, sa sciences, mabilong po si Pythagoras, but in general, nabilong po siya sa philosophy because it also defines the study or the different studies of the various sciences, as I said, because Pythagoras, and his mathematical formula nga Pythagorean theorem, if you're familiar, sikat pod kayo na sa West and it originated from the West. But Heraclitus, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, these are, especially si Thales, these men focused on introducing philosophy to the human person. Unsa gyud ang tao, and unsa gyud ang ideas ng mga tao, and what's the meaning exactly of life. Kani siya ang mga tao nga nag-focus lang sa katong niagi philosophical men, but this one focused only on the Western philosophy and introducing and exemplifying the fundamental considerations of life and how to live life and how to make life worth living. Basically, these are the men that exemplified and flourished philosophy before, especially in the Western philosophy. Sa Greece yun sila nagikan. Si Thales, estudyante niya si Socrates. Si Socrates, estudyante po niya si Plato. Si Plato, estudyante po niya si Aristotle. Okay? Nga na ang process. And then kung mangutana pa mo sa estudyante ni Aristotle, estudyante niya si Alexander the Great. Okay? So, we are not here to tackle that, but we are here just to make you aware and make you understand these people na maunay main contributors sa atong Western philosophy. Now, tapos naman ta mag-introduce or mag-expose sa ideas ng philosophy. No, technically, those are the things that you should be considering in learning philosophy in a technical sense. But this time, I will show you an illustration, as I am now, on what philosophy really is. As the question directs, no? What is it exactly? Unsa man gyud ang philosophy? Now, as you can see, there is this parable called Blind Men and the Elephant. Okay? Na-sum up siya sa illustration, and it's the story of these blind men having different perspectives in touching the overall elephant. No? Nakabantay ka mo lain-lain sila ng perspective. Diba? As the moment I was introducing the module objectives, no? And the lesson objectives, you are here to find out and to know the specific perspectives in life, and by that you can know the general rule and general perspective or the holistic perspective of life. Naamo din para magsugod sa specifics so that you can arrive to a certain point called the holistic view. As you can see, unsa iyang gi-perceive diha, it's a rope. Maskin ikog to sa elephant. Second, it's a tree, maskin dili gud siya, mga bulag gud sila gud. Wala siya klabalo unsa na. Okay, what they perceive is something that they know before. Okay? Sa pikas tao na ay tree, pikas pod snake pod, no? Sa pikas pod, it's a spear kay talinis, and it's a fan kay naa siya sa taas, and he receives more air, no? And he thinks that it's a fan. It's a wall kay lapad yun kaayo, no? It's a wall. Now, as you can see, the moral of the story is that we have different perspectives in life. One might understand or one might see your cell phones, no? Your cell phone might be introduced to yourself or might be understood by yourself as your life na. Diba? Nakatutok na ka-permi sa cellphone, no? Even your own individual problem, as you focus on that individual problem, naapod kay gisagubang nga mga trials in life. Agree? Diba? Individual problems na ataana, no? Kinsay walay problema? Kinsa? Kinsa man lang ako. Go to the nearest hospital and have yourself consulted kay wala kay problema, no? Sana all walay problema. We all have problems. Agree?
Yes, sir.
Naatay klase-klase nga problema. You might be experiencing academic problems right now with your assignments, projects, and whatever it is that's going on academically. I am experiencing also financial problems, and you also, no? We are experiencing different kinds of problems that we also might not tell everyone. Di ba? Dapat ma-aware ta sa aning nga picture na this is what exactly philosophy is. When we go outside of this room, we see the clouds. When we go outside, we see a tricycle. No? We see the society as a whole, but it's just part of life. One might see his problem or her problem na depressed dayon, but it's just part of life. It's just part of the elephant, and the elephant there is the whole. Ang nakita nimo or na-perceive nimo is a rope only. Bit-ikob diya ito sa elephant. We fail to see life as a whole. That's why we are too focused and preoccupied on certain small things. We focus on our problems, and failure to understand what life is comes along. Hindi man nato masabtan si life. Because we are just too focused on our problems. We are too focused on how we should finish our task. But most importantly, we are too focused on what it is that's very small. Not to the extent that we failed, or we must view life holistically. We must understand that there's a whole elephant here, and dili ra gyud na siya wall. Okay? What you are suffering through right now, kung wala kay gisultihan, it's still part of life. It's very normal. And one must go on. If you think nga ang kinabuhi, it's all about fun, no? It's all about going to clubs and having fun every night and every day. No, that's just very tiny perspective of life. There's more to what you are experiencing right now. There are more experiences that you can encounter if you just broaden your perspective. As senior high school students, I am teaching you this right now. Because it's the very essence of philosophy. What is it exactly? What is life exactly? This, naamo sa eskwelahan. But being in school is just part of life. There are more to life. Pag uli ninyo sa balay, if naamoy family, good for you. Appreciate them. Love them while you still can. While they are still there. Also, there are parts of our lives that should be appreciated more, no? Our family, our health. There are many things that we should be considering, but we fail to see because we are too focused on our smartphones, our laptops, our assignments, although those are the important things that contribute to life, but we also need to understand that we are just living in this tiny universe and our problems don't matter that most. Sabtan. Sabtan si elephant, no? You failed to see the whole elephant. That's why you are too preoccupied in perceiving the small, tiny parts. Okay? Mauna si philosophy. Another thing I want you to be realizing is this picture. Familiar? Again, if di ka familiar, go to the nearest hospital and have yourself consulted sa psychiatrist. Okay? Kung wala ka kailangan nga building, kay tug-anta mo sa president. Now, philosophers value reason, knowledge, and wisdom, di ba? It's the love of wisdom, technically speaking. Imagine if nakadumdum mo atong linog, 2017 atong kusog kayo. Kinsay nakadumdum pa to? Di ba? Naka-experience na nato sa Surigao City. Okay? And the foundation of NEMCO, wala gyud maguba. Okay? It's the same thought of having your reason, intellect, will, knowledge, and wisdom here, because philosophers understand and philosophers are saying nga this should be your main foundation. Dili ang foundation sa imong naong, but ang foundation of a real man, no, is here and here. Sabtan. Mao nang foundation. Maskin iuyog-uyog, no? Maskin mulinog pa. Whatever challenges that this man is going through, di maguba ang foundation. The building still remains and it's still functioning. Nasabtan. That's how you should value philosophy. And to understand philosophy yun, para mas masabtan yun, let's imagine that you are lost. This is called the lost scenario. Imagine if you're lost somewhere. Let's say nga naa ka sa Cebu and naa ka sa SM Mega Mall. No? Wala ka balo asa ang dalan pabalik. Unsay imong first course of action? Mag-ask ng questions, maghanap ng answers. Okay? You might ask a person nearby, no? Nga asa diri padulong sa supermarket, asa diri padulong sa pagawas ani nga mall. And then pagawas nimo sa mall, nakagawas na ka. You ask again questions. Asa man diri padulong pasingod Surigao City? Okay, that's my home, no? And eventually you got home. And you ask question again, where is home exactly located? Like sa Mindanao man ka. And where is Mindanao exactly located? It's like sa Philippines. Asa man yun ang Philippines, di ay? If, sa Asia, very good. Asa man ang Asia na belong? Southeast Asia or it's one of the continents of the world. Di ba? Asa man di ay ng world, di ay digikan di ay. Asa man na place di ay ng world. Kanang kalibutan sa universe. Very good. Asa man ang universe gikan? Sa black hole. No? There are a series of questions nga pwede nimo ma-ask and then you can find the ultimate answer. Okay? Philosophy, take note, is all about asking questions until you find answers. Sabtan. Kuha. And Gautama Buddha said nga life is suffering. Do you agree? It's one of the noble truths, no? Again, if wala mo mag-suffer, congratulations, no? You are suffering in many different aspects of your lives. Rather. Now, it's one of the noble truths and the statement is very agreeable. And when you are asking questions, no, niabot na tagaina sa reality and being, niabot na ta sa metaphysics. These are, again, the branches of philosophy. And if you question the knowledge, no, now why am I doing this? Why am I asking questions? You are questioning epistemology. If you are arriving on a certain part nga you question your rationality or knowledge, no, your arguments, nga sakto ba maghuna-huna yung ani? Naana mo sa logic nga part. You are using this part sa ethics. If you question the correctness and the wrongness of a certain thing, okay, that's ethics. Aesthetics, o mga familiar man mga aesthetic. If you are considering the art and beauty, and the politics, if you are questioning the system of our society, the government, no, which is very normal, you are talking about the branch politics. Sabtan. Questions? None? Okay. That's philosophy. Sa John, lisod. It's all about asking questions. Dali ra mag-ask questions, lisod. Dali ra. Okay? Philosophy was always part in our lives. We just failed to notice it. Okay? Grade 12 Iron. Did you learn something today? Yes, sir. Very good. That's all for today. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.